Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Dundee United against Celtic tomorrow. We head to Tannadice in a game which could see the league title head to Ibrox. It's still a day or two to. We've got to see what happens at Ibrox first. We've got to see what happens at Tannadice too. A lot of people are on the fence about this. Some people are saying we should deliberately drop points. Let's talk about it all after the intro.
Now, I know usually at this point you're used to the famous Ryan 118 intro with the fans shouting and screaming and all the rest of it, but no, this time I'm giving you something different. We're about 150 subscribers away from hitting the big 25k. It's my birthday on Thursday. I would love to hit it before my birthday. Let's do it. If you haven't already and you're new to the channel, go down below, press that subscribe button. If you haven't already, share the channel out on Twitter, Facebook, all the relevant social medias and get people involved. Whether they support Celtic or no, just do it. Let's get to 25k by this Thursday, and of course, give away 25k. Details about that, I'll put in a video this week.
Right then, John Kennedy's had a full week in charge of Celtic now. He's had the time to sort of see the team and as a manager and evaluate who his best players are and maybe try and drill something new into them. I don't know what to expect once more from Mr. JFK, John fucking Kennedy. I don't know what to predict. I don't know what to expect from him yet. We don't know if he's going to keep going with the style that was embedded towards the end of the Lennon tenure. I would suspect he will. But let's talk about the game itself first before we come on to tactics and before we talk about John Kennedy a bit more. Also very fascinating about John Kennedy and Celtic over the past 24 hours was the fan media press conference which was held yesterday. That looked very good. Dominic Mackay I think has now had a little bit of a say as to what happens. I'd imagine that was him that got the wheels in motion for that, and it's fantastic to see guys getting the opportunity to go and ask the questions that we've all been wanting to ask of John Kennedy and some of the players yesterday. So the wheels are in motion for change. But let's talk about the game tomorrow and one aspect of it, and that's the fact that Rangers could be crowned champions, because there's been a bit of a divide on social media, it seems, as to where this game goes tomorrow. Now, presuming Rangers beat St Mirren today at Ibrox in the 3 o'clock kick-off, they have the chance to become champions tomorrow. If Celtic don't win, then it would see Rangers become the team to win the league this season and stop, of course, 10 in a row. We've all knew this is coming, we've been set up for it. But a lot of people are now saying to stop them from winning the title at Celtic Park in 2 weeks' time, that tomorrow we deliberately go out and lose or draw the game. Now, I know I've been a pessimist all season. I know I've been a bit negative, and rightly so. I'm never going to take any of that back. I don't regret a single moment of being negative, because there's been nothing to be positive about. The odd moment here and there, like winning the Scottish Cup and maybe 1 or 2 games, but mostly negatives. I know I've been negative, and you might be expecting me to come out and hit with it, but I don't like the idea of us lying down tomorrow. I don't. I think it should be rubbished. I'm not a fan of it at all. People who are saying it, I just don't get it. Now, I understand the sort of the fear of Rangers coming to Celtic Park and stopping 10 in a row officially in our own backyard, but if it happens, it happens. We stare it in the face, we move on. We don't deserve nothing from this season. We've been terrible. So the aim of every game as a Celtic fan is to go out and see your team win. And as a Celtic players and management, you should be to win those games as well. I don't think John Kennedy or any of the team would have any aspirations of blowing away tomorrow's result just so they don't lose to Rangers at Celtic Park. Look, they're professionals. Let's rubbish any conspiracy theories right now. If Dundee United beat us tomorrow, it's because we'll be as hopeless as we've been all season. But there will be a conspiracy theory thrown about if we do go and drop points tomorrow. There will always be that there that we've done it so that never happened. We have been rubbish all season. Dundee United will be quite fancy. They'll be fancying their chances tomorrow, and quite rightly so, after how bad we've been. But look, put that out the window. We're professionals. The way that Celtic and John Kennedy should be looking at it is we win tomorrow and we win against Rangers at Celtic Park. That should be the mindset. I'm hoping it is the mindset, and it will be the mindset, because it's a group of professionals. So let's put all of that aside. There's no need to lie down. There's nothing about that. Get a grip of yourselves, man. We're not doing it. But it's not going to happen. Well, it might happen. We might get beat. We might draw. I wouldn't be surprised, actually. But I don't think there'll be any form of lying down, and there shouldn't be. Right, let's talk about the game itself, and let's put all the nonsense to the side for a minute. Let's just talk about Celtic and then what we'll do tomorrow. As I already mentioned in the video, John Kennedy has now had a full week, and he'll be looking to improve off what was a kind of average performance against Aberdeen last week. Of course, he only had 3 days to work with the team, and we went into that with the kind of the joy of Neil Lennon resigning a few days before. That was really what the story of the week was, and I don't think many were overly concerned with how we'd perform in that game. To expect a lot from Kennedy in that amount of time would have been quite I think it would be overly ambitious, first of all. I think it'd be a bit demanding of Kennedy to expect change that soon. And I feel like to see any real change, he needs more than the time he's got altogether. He's not going to get real change, he's not going to invoke real change in the 8 games that he's having as manager. So we've got to be patient, we've got to be understanding that this is a tough time for John Kennedy to take over the team. And I don't expect much to change. Now, in terms of how we play tomorrow, I'm hoping that we do start to see the positives and the changes that he's maybe made in training come through. I'm not expecting, once again, the team to be automatically fitter after a season of poor fatigue and poor fitness, but I'm looking to see people be able to last longer and take the momentum through the game. You know, we don't want it to just stop at half time. I'd like to see us go into the second half with a lot of energy and keep the energy up, rather than taking our foot off the gas and allowing us to come prone to chances and errors. I would like us to build on things that Kennedy will be putting the foundations on in training. And look, he'll have aspirations perhaps going for this job in the summer. He'll want to show these positives. So I'm hoping that we start to see it now over the next few weeks. Of course, there's a 2-week break after this before the Rangers game, so he's got a lot more time once again to work with the players and get more out of them. So I think this game is once again one you've got to take with a pinch of salt. But it's one we've definitely got to go out and give the fans something to be positive about. On to the opposition for a moment. I think Dundee United are a team who this season can be happy with how they've done and how they'll finish if they do manage to keep this sort of I would want to say form, but it's not exactly form. But look, they've came up from promotion, they've came up from the Championship, and they've actually had a solid season. For as much as people might criticise Mickey Mellon and his team for not perhaps keeping a lot of good results persistent, they've still done a good job. I mean, coming up from the Championship to do as well as they have is impressive. And look, it was a team that didn't exactly go out and spend money in the summer. So, you know, it's a team that they'll probably be quite happy with how they've done, and they'll look to build off that next season. But it looks as though the momentum is running out. I think they're a team just like Celtic who want to get to the end now. They want to get to the finishing line and just get it over and done with. They're a team who Celtic should be beating. Mickey Mellon, I'm actually a big fan of Mickey Mellon. I like the way he speaks, I like the way he sets up his teams and such. But you can see now in the legs of the Dundee United players, I think this end of the season is something that they'd welcome very, very quickly. It's a team who's struggled with inconsistency throughout the season. They've been good at points, they've been poor at points, but they've been always in and around that 6th spot. So once again, they'll be very happy with how they're doing. But it's a team that Celtic should be beating. Not winning their last 2 games, they suffered defeat to, of course, Rangers at Ibrox, who made life look very easy against Dundee United, and then drew with Kilmarnock last week in a game that was lacklustre, to say the least. But they had chances. But Kilmarnock looked a better team for me in that game. So look, if Kilmarnock, who are relegation candidates, can do it, then we should be doing it. But let's not forget our last trip to Tannadice. We left it very late, way back at the start of the season, when things were a little bit better, to say the least. Despite the fact we were still poor, it was a little bit better. But, you know, back then we had to wait to the 90th minute. Ayeti stepped up with a goal at a point where Ayeti looked as though he was actually going to come and score, you know, 10, 15, maybe even 20 goals. He scored 6 in his first 5 games or so, and times were just brighter. But look, we struggled that day, and I'm sure we'll struggle again tomorrow, considering how poor we've been all season. We need to go out, we need to score early on. Dundee United will once again play a very rough brand of football. I'd imagine those centre halves, Reynolds, Conley and the rest of the back line, will like to rough about Celtic. And look, it'll be a hard game. They'll be sticking into us, they'll be sitting deep. And they'll just make life as frustrating as possible, as every team has done this season. It's the same we expect at this point. When we get into the split, things might be a bit different, but for now, the same old, same old. So team and score predictions then. Will John Kennedy stick with Patrick Klimala up front seems to be the big question that I would propose. Will he now change that after Klimala didn't do too much in the terms of striking ability last week? I hope Klimala does continue to get chances. I'm a big fan of Klimala, and I would like to see him get the chance to grow at Celtic. He didn't have that under Neil Lennon. Neil Lennon would sub him on with 5-10 minutes to go every week, and it wasn't enough for him. So I'm hoping he does kind of stick with Klimala. I think we're still missing Greg Taylor for this game, so Laxalt I think will keep his space. But apart from that, I really do think John Kennedy will stick with basically the same 11 that he played last week. I don't see him making many changes. The only one that I think might be up for change is that Patrick Klimala option. Will he maybe turn that around and give someone else a chance? Who knows? We'll wait and see. He might even change up the formation a bit if it allows him to. But I think we will go for the same, and I have a feeling we'll do that now till the end of the season. I think that's what we'll just see now, and I don't think it's what John Kennedy would like. And maybe if Joms Forrest comes back in time, then maybe we'll change it up, and I think that's the point where he would. So maybe he'll wait till then if he does get back before the end of the season. But apart from that, I think Kennedy will look to start the same teams he did last week. Will we win tomorrow? I think we will, which sets up Rangers nicely to win the league at fucking Celtic Park. I know. I know. But I think we will win tomorrow. I think I'm going to go for a 2-0 Celtic win at Tannadice. That just seems overly optimistic, doesn't it? The fact that I have to say that just saddens me. What has this season been, man? Just get us to the end. Anyway, if you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let me know your opinions below. Let me know what you think will happen tomorrow against Dundee United at Tannadice. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch. We're nearly at 25k, lads. We're about 150 subs away, I think. So please, 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 if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Share it out with your friends. Would be much appreciated. I'll see you all next time.